Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Signatures and Finisher podcast. I'm your host, D.S. Walk. Join me today, as usual, my tag team partner, as we are coming to you live
Oh boy.
from either Miami or LA. Ladies and gentlemen, my tag team partner, Jamie.
Just got the update that we're live. Putting pressure on me now.
Yeah. I think, I don't know. We might be it looks like we are in Miami today. It looks like we are in Miami today, ladies and gentlemen. Sorry about that. We are in Miami today. We was golfing. That's what we do. Learn how to golf. I want to be hit the golf ball with the rich people. So I gotta learn. Gotta make those $1 million deals. I gotta learn how to golf.
Everybody got mad at me when I lived in Arizona. I told them I don't golf. Like they were offended that I was like, I don't golf.
And I mean, you know what? I'm starting to think that when you hit, unless you're a lover of golf, I started to believe that when you're a businessman and you're trying to make broker deals or you just want to hang out with the fellas, I guess at a certain point you have to take up golfing. Me on the other hand,
Yeah.
look, my cousin, shout out to my cousin Lincoln. He be golfing down in where his residence on the other side of Florida, on the other side of Miami. He golfs with his friends. And I told him, hey, cuz, I'll go with you. I'm just going to be grabbing the caddy and holding the
That's what
beers.
I did. I was driving the golf cart.
And about the beers.
Oh, of course. I mean, that's the only reason you go is to conduct business while drunk.
Yeah, I mean, that's the only thing I want to do. I want to be, what's his name? Chevy Chase in Caddyshack.
Then you've got the group of four 19 to 23-year-olds that think they're pro golfers behind you telling you to speed up, and it's like, shut up. Like, we're half drunk, we're old, and we're conducting business. Go around, play around.
I want to be able to look at that black guy, he drunk. Yes, I am. And I ain't driving either. I got an Uber golf cart.
Ay.
Well, we got a lot of good things to talk about on this show today. AEW, WWE, missing people reports, SummerSlam. So, question for everybody. And question for Jamie too. Should SummerSlam be on a smaller venue? Think
100%.
about that.
Smaller venue and only one night.
Mm-hmm. All right. So let's start with Willow Nightingale and the Casino Gauntlet. If you watch AEW,
If you don't, you should.
Yeah, as you should. Willow Nightingale won the Casino Gauntlet, and before we get to that point, Jamie answer. Shout out to Tony Khan, man. We haven't seen a wrestling event in a long time since WCW days where it just be bash at the beach, and it actually took place at the beach. And Dynamite took place at the beach with a crowd of 3,000 people. It looked tremendous. I haven't seen one of those in a long time. Tony Khan brought some of that WCW feeling back by doing that. Shout out to him. I appreciate that, man. I hope he does it again next year. Well, I think, what's it like when WCW did it? Was it like a week straight they did that, or like a few weeks straight?
I think they did it for a week straight because they did a Nitro out there, and then they did Thunder, and then they did the Saturday show. What was it? Saturday night main event? Or no, that's WWE. Saturday night, whatever it was. But no, and then they would do the Sunday pay-per-view. So yeah, they would do like a full week out there.
Yeah.
They used to do, what was it, Road Wild too? Road Wild was almost always outside, or Hog Wild, whatever they called it.
Yeah. Yeah, that was that took place in stores. That took place in South Dakota, I think.
Yeah, Sturgis.
Yeah. That's
And those were actually really good pay-per-views back then. Yeah, like the Raven versus DDP on like the bull rope match and stuff like that.
Yeah. I would love to see AEW do something more like that, especially in the summertime. where you don't have to be in an indoor venue. Hey, let's do some outdoor venue. Let's do it at the beach, or go to South Dakota and bring some of that back. I like the fact that I remember WCW did it. You had the hog wild guys riding their motorcycles all the way down to South Dakota. It was like one big
Hmm.
hog party, and yeah, I hope AEW brings that back.
I'm sure they'll do more outside stuff. They got a good reception, I know that, so I'm pretty sure they'll start doing more. I'm surprised WWE doesn't do more outside stuff.
Oh well, that don't fit their portfolio. That don't fit their style.
Well, it's harder to pump crowd noise into an open environment than it is into a enclosed environment, so that's part of it. The
Yeah,
"This is awesome" chats when they do a simple clothesline. This is awesome. Like, ugh, so bad.
yeah, like yeah, they can't control that. It's just ah,
That's what they pump the noise in for. When you can't control it, you just fake it.
yeah. All right, let's get to the most important thing. Willow Nightingale.
That's the most important one.
Yeah, that's important. Compared to talking about the WWE, which we'll get to later, I choose Willow over WWE any day.
I would choose Kenny Omega first, but I have no problem talking about Willow, but I would say
Yeah, we'll
most important, we be talking about Kenny Omega.
we'll get to Kenny next. We'll get to Kenny next. Um, Willow Nightingale wins the Casino Gauntlet, and she called her shot, and she get a title opportunity against Thekla at AEW Redemption, which is happening this month. The winner of that match will face Mercedes at All In. And Willow cut a promo yesterday talking about her injuries and the opportunity to be part of the Casino Gauntlet, and she wants to basically beat the crap out of Thekla. And she also mentioned that, hey, she didn't forget my Mercedes, who left her bleeding, basically left her for dead. Um, if I had to pick right now, I think that Willow will be going all in as champion against Mercedes. That's it's it kind of to me it's kind of what Tony Khan is setting it up. Now, don't I'm still confused about why he took the title off of her, or why he didn't have her win the Owen Hart tournament originally, and maybe you could have had Mercedes versus Thekla, that redemption, and have Willow and Mercedes go one on one all in. But either way, man, this is where we at. Um, Thekla went on online and she mocked it Willow before Willow cut her promo. Um, yeah, man, this is gonna be a good match. I'm looking forward to it.
It's definitely going to be a good match, and Tony Khan's really trying to stack the All In card. I wouldn't be surprised if Willow does win, just because it would be a fresh look in the women's division having Willow win. Um, but then from there, because again, it's one of those things you don't want to put all of your top people. That's where they have nothing left. So if Willow does win, you could do Willow Mercedes. Mercedes obviously would probably win that match, and then you've still got Mercedes to go against Thekla or Willow at that point. You've got two
Mhm.
programs right there. You flip the title on one of them, you've got at least a rematch there. So there's a lot of different ways. So even if Willow doesn't win it all in, you're still going to have Willow Thekla, or you're going to have Mercedes Thekla, which is going to be great. And
Yeah.
then obviously Willow would take up that next spot after that.
Mhm.
So either way, she's already been pushed into the main event picture. So win or lose right now, she's in a great spot.
She is, and that's one thing we always talk about. You said the best. Hey, if you need to elevate somebody to the main event scene, this is what you do.
Mm-hmm.
And Tony Khan, for the women's side of things, I wish WWE would do this. He gave everybody the blueprint. Hey, I'm gonna take my TBS champion. I'm gonna put her in the Casino Gauntlet, and she's gonna win it. And now she's gonna fight the champion. And that's gonna elevate her. Now, you can say Willow was hurt, ladies and gentlemen. She did explain she was hurt, and I kind of think that Tony Khan that fell right into his lap in a way, because if you look at it, if she wasn't hurt, I don't think that he would have got the opportunity to create this type of build up for this match and going
Mhm.
all in. I mean, what we're seeing here is that Willow, who was out with an injury, she had to be stripped of the TBS title because nobody know how long she was going to be out. She came back kind of
Wait,
quick.
you mean they have term limits on their title runs if they can't defend the title?
Yes, they do.
What a novel concept. I
Right.
wish somebody else could have thought of that.
Yeah. I mean, who could have predicted that she'll be back in a month or two? Nobody.
Right? I mean, if he's going for shock value, I personally wouldn't have Willow win just because you don't want her to lose the title that quick because you know Mercedes is going to win it.
Yes.
So I would personally let Willow have the match so that people could see her in the main event scene. Let her lose. You get Thekla versus Mercedes. Mercedes wins. Then you've got Mercedes Willow right there, just waiting in the wings.
True. And I think the one thing that this does actually is that it opens the door where this can actually be a triple threat match. If, like you said, if Thekla want her rematch, okay, we'll just make the triple threat because the door is open for that.
Mm-hmm.
Or again, Thekla's not going to be dropped to the mid card. She's going to stay in the main event scene.
Oh, yeah.
So if Tony Khan wants another woman wrestler to be elevated, maybe he'll turn into Jamie Hayter. Maybe he'll look at Chris Statlander, who is the main event scene, but she's kind of doing other things in the mid card level. Maybe he brings her back up. Maybe Hikaru Shida, congratulations to her, the new TBS champion. Maybe she'll be in the main event scene all over again. Who knows? But because of this movie he made, he also created possibilities and opportunities for everybody else.
Mm-hmm. I would caution against that match being a triple threat just because you need to show Willow in her best light that she belongs in the main event scene. And WWE, AEW does have a tendency, just like WWE has inherited now, to overproduce matches.
Mm-hmm.
And triple threat matches already are prone to gimmicks where one person gangs up on the other one. It would lead to probably a worse match because it's going to be some sort of gimmick or something that gets inserted to cause one person to win over the other. You need Willow to look good. So even if she takes a loss, she could still look great.
Mm-hmm.
And I would leave the Willow Thekla match alone, and I would leave the championship match alone. Just two singles matches. Let them go. Mercedes wins. Then you can either do Mercedes Thekla rematch and then a program with Willow, or you could run a full program with Thekla, then go into Willow. But then what are you going to do with Willow in between there? I don't know. But you could definitely go with something. But too many triple threat matches makes things get sloppy.
Yeah, it can. And actually, I want to correct myself on that one because the one thing that the one we always say when we watch AEW is that we want them to tell not only the good stories but make it a compelling one. Willow and Mercedes Monet have a rivalry that goes outside of AEW. I think it was in Stardom.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, when Mercedes got hurt, they put the title on Willow. But when Mercedes came to AEW, she beat Willow. Willow beating her. They have a rivalry right here that needs to be told. And now if it ends up being Willow versus Mercedes out all in, and if Mercedes beat Willow, and trust me, that won't be a bad thing. If Willow beat Thekla and she has a 30-day run with the women's world championship, it's not a bad thing actually, because that would actually what you're doing is you put the belt on Mercedes so you continue that story because they have a story that needs to be told, and I want them to explore and go deeper into that story because that's the one thing we always say that AEW is missing, that they miss a credible story where they can have a story that can be compelling, that can draw the viewers in. And just imagine they doing this with two of the top female wrestlers in the wrestling business.
Yeah, like I said, even if there was a situation where they decided to have Thekla win both matches and then do a Thekla Willow rematch, there's really not a bad way to do it. There's preferred ways to do it, sure. But with those three and the way everything is set up right now, there's really not a bad way to do it at all. Me personally, Willow would lose to Thekla. Thekla would lose to Mercedes. Mercedes would then have the title for probably 3 pay-per-views before dropping it to Willow. Because Willow's obviously she's the next big one in line to get the title. So you're not going to let Mercedes have a super long run with it because you've already done that with the belt collector thing and it got stale really fast. Give her 3 months with it, loses it to Willow. Willow can go on a long run. That's who they really need to take it all the way to well into next year would be Willow.
Yes, yes. I have seen Willow from the time she started to AEW and where she at right now. She has came a very long way. I remember, Tony Khan was using her sparingly. She wasn't part of the company yet, but she was on there, and she was just this happy-go-lucky woman who just winning matches. And then it started out to be okay. This is something serious. And then once she became all elite, it's kind of like the Jacob Fatu, all gas no brakes, but she just been killing it. I mean, don't get me wrong, like the one Will size plays a big thing who she is, right?
Yeah.
And she uses that pretty damn good, really good, and it's just like I said, she just taking off. I mean, her persona, her personality, her size, her demeanor. Usually, we would look at wrestlers like Willow, this happy woman, all positive and all that. That usually don't last too long in the wrestling business, but she makes it work. And you can tell she works hard at her gimmick. She works hard at what she does. So she's able to make it work. So she's killing it.
Yeah, Tony Khan definitely favors. Well, I don't want to say favors, but he doesn't hold back the bigger girls like WWE does. Piper Niven, should she be able to come back? I know she's gotten significantly smaller just because of what she's been forced to eat and not be able to train, things like that. Piper Niven would be an ideal person to go to AEW.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. But hopefully with this setup, with short feud with Thekla and Willow, I hope that they started you because Thekla is in a faction, with Julia Hart and Sky Blue. So hopefully they use her faction in a way where um, it would make sense.
Mm-hmm. Julia Hart's one I wish they would start pushing more. That's the only real complaint with the women's division I have in AEW is Julia Hart has all the potential in the world. They just don't let her do anything.
The one thing I think that did hurt Julia Hart was that when she won the TBS title, and she had some banger matches, but after that, you just didn't see her. I know she was gone for a certain period of time, and man, I kind of felt like from that point, and plus when she was part of the faction with Malachi Black, and they broke up, I kind of think in a way that kind of hurt her. And don't get me wrong, I seen how Tony Khan was kind of moving her away from that a little bit, sticking to her same persona, but just moving her away from Malachi Black and Brody King and Buddy Matthews. She did her own, she did great, but I also kind of felt like when Malachi left, when he broke up that group, that kind of hurt her because she had to disappear for a certain period of time.
Mm-hmm.
And now, now she just, well, she is one of the contenders for the AEW TBS Championship. But I don't know, man. I hope he builds her back up and get her back in contention again. Just but we talking about a young lady who was a cheerleader, who had no wrestling skills when she started, into the point where she became TBS champion, and now she's doing good. So hopefully she'll get that pushback, and hopefully that'll be another one where down the road they'll put in the main event scene, create her, make her into a main eventer. Um, how shocked were you when you see Akira Shida won the TBS championship? Were you surprised by that?
A little bit, but it's not like anything like, oh my God, you're making a mistake. Like it was kind of like indifferent because I'm like, okay, I can understand it. Probably not the way I would have went. Again, I'm not being paid to do it, so I'm not mad about it. So I'm assuming it's probably going to be 2 pay-per-views tops that she'll have the title. I wouldn't even be surprised if it's an all-in and gone thing.
Yeah, I can see that.
But I have no problem with it. I mean, sometimes you have to give somebody the title just to see how the fans will react, to know if you're going to push them right now. And, maybe the fans don't react all that well. It doesn't mean that you're going to kill their career. Just now's not the right time. Take the title back off of them. Change. It might be a character change. It might be, a faction change. It could be one of a million different things. And all of a sudden the people are behind them and they get the title a year from now.
Yeah. Man, I have no problem with Shida being champion. I mean, we talking about she was a former women's champion.
Mm-hmm.
I think her being the mid card, I'm not putting a ceiling or a limit on Shida, but I have no problem with being the mid card.
No,
maybe this will help her get back to the main event scene down the road.
Exactly. You have to have a solid mid card to be able to build a main event card. Like, go back to the late 80s and the early 90s. You had probably the strongest mid card in the history of pro wrestling in WWF at the time. You either had to go through the Honky Tonk Man, Macho Man, or Mr. Perfect. And then if you wanted to argue that there was one rung between the Intercontinental Championship and Hulk Hogan, that would have been like Jake the Snake. He was like that tweener. He was too good to be Intercontinental Champion, but he was never wrestling Hogan on pay-per-views. Wrestled him at house shows all the time, but never on pay-per-views. So if you wanted to make that argument that Jake the Snake was like the tweener between the two, you could, but think of how many guys had to go through either Honky Tonk Man, Macho Man, or Mr. Perfect from like 87 to 92. And how many stars got made out of that? Or potential stars that dropped the ball once they got into the main event scene.
Right.
So having solid people that they're great, they're going to go out there and consistently perform. Not everybody should be given the opportunity to put themselves into the main event. But just because you're given the opportunity doesn't mean you're going to be in the main event. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Right.
I think when you come in, like we've talked about with WWE, this person's never going to be above the mid card. You get the Chelsea Green treatment. You could be a United States champion, sure, but we don't have any faith that you're going to do anything. Like, that's insane to me. You give her opportunities. If you gave her the women's title, nobody's going to complain about it. And I guarantee you, if you just let her go out there and do what she does, you're probably going to get something extremely amazing.
Yeah.
But WWE likes to control every little thing until you've given them so much money that they can tell you to screw off, like CM Punk or Roman Reigns. People love them because they just get to say whatever they want. They don't have to hit talking points necessarily. They don't have to hit all their bullet points. But you've seen with Roman Reigns, if he doesn't hit the bullet points, he looks like a deer in the headlights out there. CM Punk, if he gets somebody that'll give it right back to him, he quickly panics on the microphone. But luckily, they don't have too many guys in the company right now that have the ability to give it back to him. But that's kind of how WWE functions. They want to control every little aspect. So they can make you look like a star, or they can convince people you're a joke and you're never going to go anywhere.
Yeah. We want to finish this topic up with Thekla did an interview on, I think it was WrestleVote or Fightful. It was one on wrestling.
I think it was WrestleVotes
or Wrestling Inc. Even though she is in a woman faction, She would like to join the Don Callis family because Don Callis has been an instrumental part of her career ever since she was in Japan. So she put it out there. She would like to join the Don Callis family. They don't have a female member. And Jake the Snake Robert has officially left AEW.
Yep.
I don't want to manage no more.
I got no problem with that. The dude's got to be pushing mid-70s.
Yeah.
So, like, enjoy retirement. You got clean, you got help, you got a steady amount of money that you should be able to live off. Because I know he wasn't just paying you pennies. Tony Khan is not known for being cheap by any means.
No. And one thing about Tony Khan that I think a lot of people should always appreciate, he appreciates the legends of wrestling, the wrestler legends. Ric Flair appreciates him. Sting, you already know. Jake the Snake, when Jake Snake got clean and sober, who gave him a job? Not the WWE. Mm-hmm. William Regal, appreciate it. I can go down the whole list.
Mm-hmm. Tully Blanchard.
Yeah. Tully Blanchard, Arn Anderson. So, all those guys who were part of AEW, made AEW to where he is. Thank you. I love Jake Snake when he was there when he was managing I forgot his name, was Lance Archer.
Lance Archer, yeah.
They had some success. I would love to see more of Jake Snake, but he's done with AEW. He can just draw retirement, like you said, and he didn't get paid pennies. He got paid millions.
Yeah, and as far as Thekla, and I don't know why there aren't more women in these factions. Like, it goes across all wrestling companies. Like, unless you're like Zelina Vega with Aleister Black or Scarlett with like Killer Cross, it's like you can only be in a women's faction. Or like if you're China with Triple H when they started DX, like if it's something that's already organic, you might get inserted into it. But again, the bloodline. Why was Nia Jax or Naomi or Tamina never involved? If the whole thing was, the bloodline's going to have all the gold, you think you would naturally at least go get Nia, who was the champion at one point during that run, to insert her to say, look, we even dominate on the women's side. Why doesn't the Don Callis family, especially because the Don Callis family already has too many male stars in it, that they're having to wrestle themselves, which makes no sense whatsoever. But it happens consistently. It's not like it was one feud, Takeshita and Okada. It's everybody in the family has to wrestle each other.
Yeah.
Because
Andrade,
half of their solo stars are in that faction.
Yeah, Andrade, who just left. Yeah. And I think Tony Khan sees that. That's why we start seeing people slowly leaving little by little. I expect Okada to be the next one to leave. And it's just way too many. And I know a lot of those guys.
There's one woman in a faction in AEW, right? Marina Shafir. She's in Death Riders.
Willow too.
Well, yeah, Willow too.
Yeah.
But like, why don't we have more? I don't understand it.
Yeah, women has played a prominent big role in factions.
Well, especially if you have somebody where it's like, we have potential here, but she's not quite over with the fans, whether she's a heel or a face.
Mm-hmm.
Put her in a faction. Easily, you can get them involved in matches that way. They're going to draw a reaction.
Yeah. All right. So moving on to topic number 2. The most important match of the day for AEW. Kenny Omega and MJF put on a banger match. Look, if you had to rate it, it's probably one of the best matches that AEW put on, especially for the title. And they actually did a title championship match at the beach. It's one thing we can say about Tony Khan is he'll give the people what they want. Mm-hmm. It doesn't have to be a pay-per-view where you have to fight for the title. I guess WWE picked up on that. That Kenny Omega and MJF match was pretty damn good. Now, to all but everybody out there, MJF lost the title. Yes, I know. Yeah, I know. Everybody hates it. But it's for the bigger cause, for a bigger story. He'll be going out to face Will Ospreay, who kind of came down and assisted Kenny Omega in this victory when MJF went to his personal privates and pulled out this AEW Dynamite ring. And he's about to hit Kenny. Ospreay took it. Kenny took advantage. 1, 2, 3. It was a banger match for a crowd of 3,000. That was pretty damn loud. That a crowd of 3,000 was louder than an arena of people with 17,000 who sits on their hands.
Well, it's like when people started making fun of AEW because AEW came out and said that they were wrestling in smaller venues. And Jericho, obviously defending the company, had to come out and say, I'd rather wrestle in front of 1,500 people that actually cared and want to be there than a stadium of 20,000 where it's empty.
Yeah.
Like, part of your job, and I get it, during the pandemic, it was hard because they were wrestling in front of nobody. Now, that does allow for some freedoms. You saw really cool stuff with Bray Wyatt and AJ Styles and The Undertaker doing the theatrical matches. They could still do that stuff. Remember, I was pitching doing basically a daytime soap opera with WWE. It would work if they would just do it, along with their regular Raws and SmackDowns and things like that. But they got to do really cool things. But at the same time, you don't get to feed off the fans. You don't necessarily know what's working or what's not. There's a lot of pivots that happen in a wrestling match sometimes. Finn Balor talked about it on Chris Van Vliet's show a couple days ago, that he told Seth Rollins that he was hurt and he wanted to change the finish to where he wouldn't never have won the World Heavyweight title. Mm-hmm. But Seth Rollins said, no, just keep it. So, like, things like that happen all the time, but you can't feed off of, oh, the fans are really into this, or the fans hate this right now, we need to change something, or just end the match. So you just have to go out there and just do things. Now, to their credit, they had good champions at the time. You had Bobby Lashley and Drew McIntyre carrying each title. But you also had the Bloodline, which helped them through. They got to do some cool stuff with the Bloodline story. But having a smaller arena of people that actually want to be there is a lot better than a stadium of 20,000 like WWE, where you can clearly see nobody wants to buy into the product. Your arena's empty. Well, if nobody's going to the shows, what am I watching for?
No pumped in crowd noise either.
Well, when you can look and see that the arena's empty, you can't pump in the crowd noise and expect people to believe it, because then you're basically admitting.
Well, wait, no, you can't do that at AEW because it's a smaller venue, it's packed, so you ain't worried about no crowd noise being
exactly. Well, that, and again, it's not being an AEW homer. When you watch an AEW event, you're going to get something crazy that's going to get you hyped up anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you can watch Raw, and it is formulaic. They're going to run through. You're going to get your 5 moves of doom from each guy, each girl, and then you're out of there. Again, everybody's like, oh, look at Raw. They had a title change. They had a title change because it was in Chicago. Anytime they're in Chicago, they make sure that it's CM Punk specific, because the crowd's going to erupt, because for some reason people love that schmuck. I don't know why. He is truly a terrible person. If you actually read about him, he is a douchebag. Like, all you have to do is look at any wrestler that's ever commented about him, and they all say the same thing. And these are people that don't like talk to each other. The dude is a douche. But yeah, you saw that you already made a mistake with Sammy, because nobody cares that he's champion. There's one section of the entire world that actually gave a shit that Sami Zayn was the World Heavyweight title champion. Oh, and guess what? You're going there soon. Go hang out in the desert some more. But other than that, nobody cared. I take that back. People cared. People just didn't want to see it. So 9 days later, like, you didn't even get Jey Uso treatment. I figured Jey Uso treatment was about as bad as it would get in today's WWE. No, now it's the Sami Zayn treatment. You barely got a week, and let's take the weekend out of it. You got 7 days as champ. Like, they knew you were such a mistake. They're like, hey, we got a Raw coming up. Let's take our second biggest title. Actually, no, our biggest title, and give it to this guy, who we know we're going to get a bunch of backlash for, because he hasn't even shown his face since WrestleMania. But we're going to put the title on him, because you're not going to sell us any more tickets at SummerSlam. We're already discounting them 25%, and we're still not selling anything.
Well, they discounted that stuff. They ain't, trust me, it ain't because of Sammy.
To be fair, they were offering the discount before Sammy won, but it's not like Sammy winning boosted those ticket sales up anymore.
Sure, I don't think Cody Rhodes.
Sami Zayn
Sami Zayn
was far more interesting when he wore a mask. When he was El Generico, he was far more entertaining. He was also a much better wrestler back then too.
I can't knock that. But I can say we will get to it though. Ain't like Punk and Cody moving the needles either for themselves.
Trust me, I wouldn't be booking Punk and Cody. If it was me, Punk, you're still sitting at home. You want to collect the paycheck at this point? I don't care. Just go away.
Well, to all the performers, it's not their fault that SummerSlam tickets are not being sold.
They've overvalued, again, as we've talked about on other shows, they've overvalued their own product. Nobody wants 2 nights of SummerSlam.
No.
Nobody at this point, I think, really wants 2 nights of WrestleMania when the quality of WrestleMania has dropped to just abysmal quality.
No. We won't get to all that. And so apparently there's that rumor that MJF has a knee injury. That's why they took the title off him, because they don't know if he's going to be at All In or not. He will be at All In, trust me.
He will do everything in his power.
That's your biggest heel. So you got to think about it. At some point, he will be involved in that match. You just don't know how. Doesn't know how this is going to play out. But he will be involved. Now, there's been a lot of reports coming up out of the ring. Shout out to my partner here, because I watch a lot of wrestling streams, and they all say the same thing. But again, give Signature Finisher Podcast the credit that we deserve, because we said it first. I say we because it's our show, but he said it first. Will Ospreay was signed to AEW, a huge contract. We already knew at some point. Well, now let me phrase that. We knew at that point he was going to be the man. It was just a matter of time of when they would put the title on him. Now, the reports are coming out was that Will Ospreay did not want to work with MJF anymore. He wants to wrestle Kenny Omega for the title. Now, if you pay attention to their backstage segment, you kind of see they was kind of building up to that. You was kind of seeing how Kenny was talking to Will, because Will been working with the Death Riders, getting tougher, getting meaner, getting prepared to get this title, be a champion. Kenny warned them. Kenny was concerned about him. Kenny also had his ambition being champion. So you kind of seen they was building that up.
Mm-hmm.
You also kind of see MJF was part of that. And listen, when you got those 3 guys and that dynamic who can cut good promos, I'm talking about Kenny and I'm talking about MJF. Will he's good, but he still needs some more. But when you got those 3 guys interacting and that dynamic, it's real. Like, you can see it, you feel it, it's real. And be honest with you, that was probably some of the best things I've seen in a while. I'm talking about come out of both promotions where you got 3 guys, three guys on top of the card, having this talk, competitors. 2 of the guys hate MJF. The dynamic was great. The chemistry was great. Word coming out is that MJF has not been promoted to the number 2 guy in the company. Will Ospreay can be number 1 guy. You said it. I can't say we're bad what you said. You cannot pay a man that much money and have him be the number 2 guy for so much. He's going to have to be the face of the company. That's what they pay him for. They ain't pay him to be a sidekick. It's like before we came on the show, Batman needs his villain. Joker needs a Batman.
Mm-hmm.
MJF needs Ospreay. Ospreay needs MJF. These are your top face, your top heel guy. They need each other.
And if it might turn out that MJF is not Will Ospreay's Joker. Maybe it is Swerve Strickland. And then that doesn't mean that MJF gets bumped to number 3. It just means that he's looked at as maybe somebody else's number 2 or number 1, depending on how you want to look at it. That maybe it becomes MJF and Kenny Omega.
Right.
And then Will Ospreay and Swerve Strickland. They have their legendary rivalries.
Right.
Like take example John Cena. When you say John Cena's biggest rivalry, who do you say?
Randy Orton.
Randy Orton or Edge. Randy Orton or Edge should probably be your first 2. But you could go Randy Orton, you can go Edge, you can go Brock Lesnar.
Mm-hmm. He's got 3. You go to see a point to a certain extent if you don't go there.
Well, like, you've got at least 3. So he could have. It could be Kenny Omega. It could turn out to be MJF. But with where they're at right now, they're in such a good spot. And like we were talking about before the show, on paper, if I told you that SummerSlam and All In were on the same night and you had to pay for both shows, that's the part that isn't fair in the comparison.
Mhm.
Most people don't have to pay to watch SummerSlam now. Even though I have YouTube TV, you know, they still don't have their stuff worked out. So I technically would have to pay for it, which is BS. But in a world where you had to pay for both shows, if I told you on paper, you can watch Cody Rhodes versus CM Punk, or you could watch Kenny Omega versus Will Ospreay, what would you put your money on?
Oh, Kenny Omega versus Will Ospreay.
100%. Now they're saying that Sami Zayn might be getting inserted into the SummerSlam match.
Mm-hmm.
Takes my interest out of it even more. You could very well, even with MJF, me personally, if I'm Tony Khan, I am making that a triple threat match because you have two baby faces. You need some intrigue there. Yeah. Even with the knee injury, you could still put MJF in the match, have him affect the match, and do minimal work to protect the knee. But MJF sells tickets. Will Ospreay sells tickets. Kenny Omega sells tickets. You put MJF in that match. And then you really have no reason not to be watching All In, just for that match alone.
100%. MJF is not being demoted. MJF has been the face of AEW wrestling for a very long time. He has been the guy. Think about it. We talking about he's been the guy where there was nobody on his level. There was nobody he can compete with. There was nobody you can say, oh, I got a marquee in MJF. That's it. Now he has somebody.
Being a good heel and being the top heel, whether it's comic books, wrestling, anything, is knowing that you're never going to be the face. If you are the face of the company, they've done something wrong.
Yeah. And remember,
in the story of good and evil, basically good always wins. Your baby face should be the face of your company.
Yeah.
But your heel knows if their baby face is getting over that much, they're doing their job.
Yeah.
And they should be getting shown that respect of they are getting that person that much over.
Yeah. And remember, Max is an old school guy. He knows his wrestling history. He's an old school throwback.
That's why I'm not worried about it at all.
Yeah. And the one thing that we always keep forgetting is that when it needs to be, Max can do both things. He can be a heel, great at it. He can be a face, great at it when he needs to. And remember, we seen that feud with him and Adam Cole, where he went from a heel to a face. And it didn't work out well because he was the face. Adam Cole was the heel. If people switch, it'd have been that feud would have went somewhere.
As we've talked about before, it's very hard for a wrestler to be good at both.
Mm-hmm.
You might be able to do one satisfactorily, like, oh, I'm a pretty good face. I can get you through some Raws. I can get you through some SmackDowns. I can get you through Dynamites or Collisions and a few PLEs as a face. But if you want to make money, put me back to being a heel. Tiffany Stratton's talked about it. It's way harder because she has to think about what she says as a face, where when you're a heel, you can just come off the top and say basically whatever you want because you don't have to worry about the perception. MJF is a much better heel, but he's still a better face than almost everybody else out there when he wants to be.
Yeah. I mean, effortless.
And he has that ability because he's like their chief, not brand ambassador, but like he's their chief AEW supporter on social media, everything. He defends AEW at all costs. Oh, so he's always got that to play with whenever he wants to be a face. He just starts running the AEW train and everybody starts thinking of him in a different light.
Yeah, 100%. And he's their biggest superstar. I mean, ain't nobody else in AEW is doing movies or actually doing movies like MJF.
So well, that's what I was saying a while ago. If I was Tony Khan, I would have been hooking up AEW with a publicist and getting them a talent agency and starting to get these guys acting roles. And look what happened. MJF's doing movies. You've got Brian Cage and Lance Archer both showing up in Steven Spielberg's newest movie.
Mm-hmm.
You've got all these guys are starting to do stuff, and that's what you need. These guys need to build up their name. Now the fear is, they build up their name and then they go to WWE or something. I don't think you're going to have to worry about that with a lot of these guys. Some of them, yeah, you will lose a couple, but guys like MJF, it's going to bring eyeballs to AEW.
Yeah. Everybody keeps predicting that MJF gonna leave AEW, go to the WWE eventually,
No.
so he may have been WrestleMania. And when you hear MJF talk about it, he's like, nah, man, why?
Especially now with the money thing. Like, I read today that apparently they've asked Sami Zayn to take a 50% pay cut.
Yeah.
Like, he's already said he plays a character that's, Burberry scarves and stuff like that, but he's come out and said he doesn't need all the money in the world. He's where he's at because he enjoys being there. I don't see him ever needing to leave unless something fundamentally happens behind the scenes where him and Tony Khan have a massive falling out. He's never going to leave.
No.
He doesn't need to.
Listen, we already know that WWE, they have this thing where this is what we think you were. Tony Khan, it's a big difference between have unlimited money and printing money. Print money eventually is going to run out. When you got unlimited money.
Tony Khan has NFL money.
No. You got to change that because they also own a soccer team. That was their first business joint.
Yeah, I forgot about the soccer team. So yeah, you got that's soccer and money. NFL money. Yeah, they're not running out.
No, not ever. I mean, hey Tony, how much you? What you want? 15 million? Gotcha. Here you go.
Well, and that's the thing is, if he's got talent locked down, he has no problem spending the money. Or WWE at this point has shown unless you're Roman Reigns or CM Punk, you're not getting paid anymore. Even Cody Rhodes isn't making CM Punk money.
No. And the one thing about Tony Khan is that if you're one of his top talent, he's knocking you down for 5 years. And if you're MJF, you're set for life. So again, why would I want to leave AEW where I can do whatever I want as far as I can go wrestle on other promotions?
But MJF, you need your WrestleMania moment. Your career's not complete without your WrestleMania moment. That's the only thing WWE has to offer people.
Yeah.
It's your WrestleMania moment. Don't you remember how important that is?
Yeah. I mean, for example, Kenny Omega was part of the WWE system. They didn't like him. This is a guy that was in your backyard that you've been working on. That you was kind of like about to put him out there. You didn't think he was no good, so he went to New Japan. Killed it. Wrestling the G1 climates, killed it. Did some great things, killed it. And sure, there's interest on both sides to go to the WWE. It's been like that for the last 10, 15 years. Kenny Omega still hadn't left to go to the WWE. Why?
It was going to be hard to get over to
the freedom.
WWE. 100% the freedom. He's got good pay, and he doesn't have to wrestle all those crazy dates. And part of WWE cutting their house shows was twofold. A, they save a ton of money, but also they can tell the guys, well, you don't have to work as much. The difference is AEW still pays their guys good. AEW then turns around and says, oh, well, since you're not working as much, we expect you to take half the money because now you're not doing house shows. You're not wrestling 5 days a week. Like, they're trying to say, oh, we're doing you a favor, but since we're doing you a favor, you need to do this for us. It doesn't work that way.
No.
Especially if I'm good enough, I can go down the street to these guys where I'm going to get treated well. This has always been their system. And I can be happy. Where here, you're basically treating me like I'm being punished for doing you a favor because you decided to save money and do less house shows. Now I'm doing less work and I'm supposed to take less money because you chose to save money by cutting down on your logistics. I get it. Driving semi-trucks across country is super expensive. You know what else is super expensive? Giving this retard that wrestles once every 3 months a private jet to fly around with whenever he wants and paying him $20-some million a year. But I don't know. I don't know anything about business. That's a contract I would have signed if I was WWE.
It's not everybody wants to go to the WWE. But again, what we're trying to say is MJF's not going anywhere.
Their top guys aren't going anywhere. Kenny's not going to go anywhere. MJF's not going to go anywhere. Jericho might do a retirement run, but even as we saw when he was still floating around at the beginning of the year, they were floating around a program with Gunther. And what did he do? I'm re-upping with AEW.
Yeah,
like, Gunther can't catch a win.
Yeah, I was going to go back to WWE.
They floated out this Gunther thing, and I was like, nope, going back.
Yeah, it's I don't know.
And he's killing it right now, too. He's having great
Him and
matches.
Tommaso Ciampa had a great match.
They're making Ciampa look great, and I'm like, I even
Yeah.
gave up on Ciampa. I'm like, dude's basically done, but they're having great matches.
Yeah. He was TNT champion for a short period of time, but yeah, this is the Ciampa that everybody want to see when he comes to the main roster. The problem is though is he wanted to see that same champ at the main roster. It's not his fault that you get limited doing stuff.
Mm-hmm.
If you're not able to show your true art form, your artwork, it's a problem. And usually, when you're working with someone who wants you just to show bits and pieces, because they'll want you to show the whole package, fans get tired of that.
Yeah.
And people get tired of living in the past. Everybody get tired of hearing about the NXT back in the old days when Triple H ran at it and he was so great, he was so tremendous. Listen, it's the same guy. Same guy who ran NXT Black and Gold, the same guy who's running the main roster.
Well, and it makes you wonder. It's like you said, it's the same guy. What's missing from the same guy?
His passion for the game.
That or Vince McMahon's gone when he was doing all those great things.
Yeah, but he didn't answer the Vince down there. And then another thing is that
ultimately he still did answer to Vince. But I think Vince gave him the freedom to do things. But again, why can't that convert over to the main roster? All those guys from NXT you helped develop, so why aren't they having the same success up on the main roster? You're relying on guys from 15 years ago at this point.
I don't care.
What happened to Karrion Kross?
What
happened to Johnny Gargano? What happened to Tommaso Ciampa? What's happened to Bailey?
The guy that you wanted. What happened to your guy, Adam Cole? And I'm an Adam Cole fan.
Adam Cole, I am too. Adam Cole was supposed to revolutionize the business and change everything. And he don't even work there.
And I understand Vince dropped the ball on that one. Vince didn't see him as a main eventer. I get it. I 100% get it. But when you had an opportunity to still go back and get him, you didn't do it. Shout out to Adam Cole, by the way. His health. I hope one day he can make appearances back in AEW, not as a wrestler, but I hope he comes back and makes some appearances. And I just want him to get better, get well. He is truly missing the ring, but I'd rather see him live a long quality life than continue to put himself in danger. So again, MJF, don't look at it as a guy who made the most to number 2 guy. No, he is still part of one of the faces of the company. He is one of the pillars. He's your biggest pillar. But again, when you sign a guy as talented, as skilled as Will Ospreay, who can potentially not only ride with MJF, that's what you brought him in for, but also can elevate the company and take the company to a higher level, and you pay him a boatload of money, 100%, he would have to call his shot and be the face of the company at some point. That's just how the business works. It works in all sports. Quick preview of All In. We said it. Everybody has said it. Will Ospreay is going to be the champion. We know that. We know it's going to be a banger match. The biggest thing is what happens after that is how will you use Will Ospreay? Who are you going to have him face to defend that title? But he is going to be champion for a while. He might be champion for 5-6 months. He might be champion for a year. It's going to be a nice run. So what Tony Khan and his writers and his people backstage is, it's not about what's going to happen on All In. It's about what's going to happen after All In with Will Ospreay.
You need to do the exact opposite of what you did with Darby Allin. Darby Allin, I get why you did it, because you were trying to combat social media. You were trying to combat people that said Darby doesn't look like a champ. I get it. And it worked.
Yeah, and it was a wedding present to him.
Yeah. At the same time, you need to do the exact opposite with Will Ospreay. This dude is only wrestling while he's champion at pay-per-views. That's it. He can come out at Dynamite. He can come out and talk on Collision. He ain't getting physical. You could have a scruff here and there, but he's not wrestling a match as long as he's champion, except on a pay-per-view. You got to sometimes treat your champions like the champion. I'm too good. Even if he is the face, I'm not wrestling on a Dynamite. You don't have him come out and say that. You just give that to the fans. You're going to see him every month, but you're going to see him at the pay-per-view.
Now, when you say that, you mean like he won't defend the title on Dynamite Collision. Now, will you put him in like in a tag team match here and there?
Yeah, he could be in a tag team match, but you're not getting a singles match out of Will Ospreay on a Dynamite or Collision as long as he's champ. Period.
Tag team match?
Tag team match is fine. 6-man tag match, you come up with a legitimate storyline reason of why he's in that match to make it make sense, fine. But realistically, you're going to see him cut promos. You'll see him come out and confront people, but he's not wrestling if I'm in charge, as long as he's got that belt, unless it's at a pay-per-view.
Singles match only on pay-per-view.
Mm-hmm. You got to showcase the talent.
So basically,
again, this is your guy. Mm-hmm. This is the guy that you paid all the money to be the guy. This is the guy that has the ability to be the guy for the next 10 years for you. You got to give him that. So you treat him like the champion, make people want to pay to see him. All those people that had to pay to see Hogan, all those people that had to pay to see Austin. When Austin first got red hot with the title, he didn't wrestle on Raws. He didn't wrestle on SmackDowns. He wrestled at pay-per-views. That was it. He would come out and do promos and do all the crazy stuff, sure, but he didn't wrestle. You got to do the same thing. You got to build the value, build Ospreay's value up. There's certain things he could do organically himself. There's certain things you as a company have to do to build his value as well. And that would be one of them.
Okay. I never thought of it like that. But then when I hear that, I think, man, going to make it to another Roman Reigns, but not. The only difference is, though, Roman only has certain dates that he'll show up. Mm-hmm. But Will Ospreay is a guy that will be there every day.
This is a guy that's going to be there at every show. No. You're just not going to see him wrestle. He'll confront people. He can throw some, have a scruff here and there that pops up. But actually wrestling and a one-on-one match, that's going to be at the pay-per-views. Yeah. That's what the pay-per-views are for. They're to generate money. You sell those pay-per-views with Dynamite and Collision to build up the interest to pay for the pay-per-view. So you use Will Ospreay. You want to be the man, this is what your job is. Go cut promos, go do confrontations, build up interest to get people to buy the pay-per-view.
If you get a chance to a tag team match, now I put it like this. If you get a chance to a single match one-on-one, just know it's not happening.
Right.
If you get challenged to a tag team match, 6-man match, 8-man team match, we can do that.
Again, if it's the Death Riders with Will Ospreay involved versus, 4 other guys, sure. Because you do have to showcase the talent. That's why I said tag team matches or something like that. But if you want to see Will Ospreay go out there for 10 to 20 minutes, you got to do that at the pay-per-view, as long as he's champion. Once he loses the belt, sure, then you get him back on Dynamites and Collisions, wrestling stuff. But while he's your champ, you got to showcase that and build up his value. You got to pay to see that.
Yep, and to save him from injury.
Mm-hmm.
All right. One more thing on AEW before we get to WWE, because we are so excited to talk to WWE. Jack Perry recently re-signed back with AEW. Now, everybody thought that he was going to generate some interest from the WWE. WWE didn't even give a damn about Jack Perry.
Who's in WWE right now?
Yeah, CM Punk.
Who has a lot of pull in WWE right now?
CM Punk.
Can they worry about missing out on a Jack Perry? Yeah.
Yeah.
Does Triple H regret talking shit about Will Ospreay and saying, "Oh, he doesn't want to work"? Yeah.
And the stuff he said about Jay White, of course. Yeah. Like, what the hell are you doing? No, but so he re-signed back with AEW, and there's a lot of Jack Perry fans. He is okay to me, honestly.
I'm a fan of his dad. Jericho was a great show.
Hey, 920 was the best.
I was like 7 when it was on. I don't remember hardly any of it.
Hey, Buffy the Vampire Slayer, that was
my show.
Yeah, but that was
the movie was good. Pee Wee Herman was great in that movie. But
Pee Wee Herman died like 18 times, and it still was great. ah, ah. Yeah. Rest in peace, Pee Wee. Rest in peace, Pee Wee. Um, but he's back in AEW. It kind of makes you wonder, like, dang, you telling me he couldn't get to NXT? But again, when you got your champion who's going to be working down NXT at some point once his rest of career over with, you got some pull.
Yeah, you got to be concerned about Lexi King that he makes it to the main roster before Triple H, before CM Punk gets down there.
Well, I thought they were pretty cool. You know, I thought they got a good relationship.
Not from the stuff I've read, but
I thought. But hey, but Lexi King got there before CM Punk did. So
but CM Punk's opinion on people changes when money's involved too. So,
man, y'all shout out to the community. Y'all be going hard at CM Punk. I mean, I seen somebody made a video, the Punkamaniac. I mean, like, damn. I mean, CM Punk catching strays everywhere, especially with the word hypocrite. Damn.
I mean, he is. You just have to look at his actions based off of what he said.
I mean, like, he addressed it one time in the past, but I look at it like, yeah, CM Punk believes what he believes in, and I had no problem with it.
He believes in what he believes in until there's money thrown in, and then he has to go fall on his sword in front of everybody like, oh, yeah, I know I was talking crap about the Middle East, but I really love your money, so please forgive me for what I said.
I mean, like, in all due respect, there has been a lot of wrestlers who have said a lot of the same things I CM Punk.
Yeah, and a lot of them meant it.
And meant it, right, and meant it. But if you want to be the man, you got to be the company man. You got to be like John Cena. You got to put your morals, how you feel to the side. And
the difference is, look at how many times you've seen on videos on YouTube or whatever where people try and ask Cena hard questions and he gets very PC. He doesn't answer those questions. CM Punk would go out and say stuff and then wants to fall on his sword and, oh, I need the money. So, Riyadh, I'm sorry that I talk crap about you, but I love Saudi money, so please forgive me.
Yeah, I mean,
you know, it's like Sami Zayn. Oh, I'm in front of my people, but I refuse to show up in Saudi Arabia because they're at war with Syria. And then as soon as the war's done, oh, these are my people. They weren't your people like 2 years ago. I can go way too hard into this because I know too much about it.
Yeah. It's CM Punk have fallen in line with the company. So, I mean, if this is what they want and they throwing a boatload of money at him, he got to fall in place. Now, again, the difference is between Punk now and Punk then is that, you know, back then, Punk would never done this, but I also got to think about who was in charge last time CM Punk was in WWE.
Mm-hmm.
And before he came back to WWE, what did he do with Triple H? Made amends. He worked on and built relationships in the WWE. He fixed those bridges in the WWE.
Actually, when you hear Seth Rollins talk about it, it was more of they were told that he was signed and that everybody just had to get over it.
That too. So, but what Seth Rollins got to understand, well, you got to understand when Seth Rollins said that, who was they were talking to? Mm-hmm. Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns and Kevin Owens. Get over it. But to Roman Reigns' credit, I know we don't give him a lot of credit. He knew what was happening. The difference between him and Seth Rollins and Kevin Owens is that Roman Reigns offhand said, yeah, I don't like the guy, but I do business.
I give Roman Reigns a lot of credit for throwing those steel steps at his face because that actually connected. So I give him credit for that.
Yeah. But I'm saying, though, I give him a lot of credit for saying, I don't like the guy personally, but I'll do business.
Well, I mean, everybody's done business. You haven't heard anybody say that they're not going to wrestle him because they're kind of forced to. And
Drew McIntyre. Hates more than anybody. Yeah, I do business with him. It's going to cost you a little more money, but yeah, I do business with him.
Well, that and he knows he can get a few shots in here and there.
Yeah.
Because what's Punk going to do? Oh, he hit me? Like.
Yeah, with Seth Rollins and Kevin Owens, I get it. It's a little more personal with them than with Roman Reigns. And, you know, you can tell by the way in that wrestling ring with Seth Rollins.
I wouldn't be surprised
Kevin Owens get his opportunity.
When Kevin Owens comes back, I wouldn't be surprised if you don't get a Kevin Owens and CM Punk match. They're probably going to keep Kevin Owens far away from him.
No, I think we'll get the match. I don't think we'll get it offhand, but we'll get the match.
I don't know, because Kevin Owens probably would mess him up in a match pretty good. Knowing that he's going to be able to get shots in, and because it's an actual match, they might steer clear of that for a while.
I don't know. Like we see Punk said, it falls in line with what he said. I'm not here for relationships. I'm here to make money. It falls in that line. Whether they like you or not, if you're here to do business, make money, Kevin Owens is gonna be your guy. So let's get to one of our favorite subjects and topics, both the same thing. Where's Rhea Ripley? It's like looking for Waldo. We can't find Rhea, but Rhea was found.
I'll say that I don't care that she's off TV. She was very overexposed before she got hurt to begin with, so I'm okay that she's off TV for a while. The part that I take issue with is that they haven't taken the title off of her. I mean, you just heard, I sent you the thing this morning. They stripped El Viking Del Hingo of his title because he's going to be out 2 to 3 months. She's already been out 3 months, and she still got it.
Yep. So Rhea actually been out since June 3rd.
Mm-hmm.
So Rhea was at the she's at one of our favorite events, Jamie. The one that you think is clown, the slap contest. Her and Buddy Matthews, and as they watch their former wrestler Jack
get knocked out.
Oh, you know, that slap he took. I mean, when you break it down in slow motion, I saw his whole face went one way, his eyes went the other way. He was
so in full context, he took 3 shots from that dude. I think actually it was 4, but I watched 3 of them. The first 2 didn't even flinch him. Like, he didn't even move.
Mm-mm.
That third shot looked like it was the weakest out of the 2, or out of the 3, and that's what dropped him. But the first time he slapped that other dude, they had to grab him. Realistically, I probably would have called that guy out because he was completely down and had 3 people holding him up. Like, Hager hit him so hard. I'm not a fan of the slap fighting. Like, being unconscious isn't good for you to begin with. And to just stand there and let somebody hit you as hard as they want, it's barbarianism to me. Like, I have no problem fighting. You get into a fight with somebody, go for it. But like, to just stand there and say, I'm going to hold this piece of plastic behind me, cock back and hit me as hard as you can, and I can't do anything, is just retarded to me.
I'm sorry, man. I don't mean be laughing and smiling, but yes, I do. But just
I mean, I still watch it, but I think it's stupid.
Yeah, I mean, my man got hit so hard. I can just picture myself, someone just slapped me that hard. I'd be so dramatic with it. Like he was, oh shit. Oh, I got 3 people hold me up. I'm good. Let me shake this off.
Go watch the video. The first time Hager hits him, he drops him. Like, you had 3 people holding you up, and they were still like, oh no, we'll give him to the count of 10. We'll throw some water on his face, and we'll say he's good.
Yeah,
like, the dude should have lost immediately.
Yeah, all right.
He only sees 12 of me, but it's not 13, so he's good to go.
Yeah, he's good. He's just on a water break right quick. On a water break, yeah, he had a phone call.
But yeah, she was there with Buddy Matthews.
So they interview her, and she confirmed that she has a partially torn meniscus in her knee. She said it feels good, it's getting better, but she's having a hard time bending the knee, of course. She don't know her timetable where she's gonna be back. It was something about they thought it was gonna be a 3-week injury. Not her, not the doctors of those WWE guys. So in this article, she says it's getting stronger. I can't bend it very well. I kind of needed to bend it, guys. I don't know what the recovery timeline, kind of a little bit up in the air with the fast on my body recovers. I've been out just over a month now. I think it's been a month and a couple weeks. It feels better. It still starts to hurt and throb. It gets tired. I can't get up or bend it really slow or kind of move it side to side while crouching. It gets stuck. We'll see how it goes. Um, let's see. It says due to Ripley's injury, reports indicated that WWE made several creative adjustments in case she was unable to perform in the ring for an extended period of time. Currently, the WWE is just 3 weeks away from its two-night SummerSlam preview live event in Minnesota. Given the condition of her knee at this point, though, it's unclear if Ripley herself is factored into it or not. So basically, they're not taking the title off her. What do we say about winning the championship in the WWE? Be careful what you ask for. Liv Morgan deserves all the credit in the world with the work she has done. She's been underappreciated. She wins the title. And she has done nothing with it since she won at WrestleMania. Now she's fighting Io Sky, a real competition, someone that's on the same level, maybe a little higher than she is for that title. And she might end up losing because they didn't do nothing with her. Rhea Ripley won the title at WrestleMania, suffered torn meniscus June 3rd. But even before then, we was getting a little bit sound of crickets in her title reign. And now she's out. They're making adjustments. But the main adjustment they're making is we're going to strip you of the title. And when you get healthy, we'll put it back on you.
Yeah, in the meantime, every woman on SmackDown's just sitting there thinking,
why I'm here.
What little faith do you have in us that you won't give us a reason to be fighting for the title while Rhea's out, knowing that when Rhea comes back, she would get inserted right back into the main event scene because she never lost the title. Or you have a torn meniscus. You're not coming back in a couple weeks. You're just not. Like,
why would the WWE doctors even think she'll be back in a couple?
They were probably some of the wrestlers impersonating doctors, like the indie wrestler, I forget her name, that was the doctor in the ring for the Alexa Bliss segment.
Yeah. Rhea Ripley, if she got a partial torn meniscus, sometimes requires surgery, rehab.
It does.
You're going to miss more than a month.
My wife had a partially torn meniscus and an ACL, and she was in a leg brace for 12 weeks.
Yeah. Safe to say that mommy got bad knees. She needs to stay off her knees. Look, I'm at this point, if you're going to treat Jade Cargill the same way that it goes back to what I said, Jade Cargill had a terrible run of the title. What they do, they got off of her. Before then, Tiffany had a terrible run with the title. What they do, they got it off of her. Now we're seeing Liv Morgan has a terrible title run, and they're about to get it off of her. Rhea Ripley is having a horrible title run, and they're going to keep the title on her. It doesn't make sense. The math is not mathing. Addition of attraction is not working.
Yeah, they don't seem to care about their storylines for the women's division is like the only answer.
They don't care about the titles on the women's division.
No, they don't.
The only one they care about is the women's IC championship. And granted, I appreciate it. You guys care about the women's tag team championship. I appreciate that too. But your main champion on SmackDown for the women's champion, she is out. It's been over what? It's been 45 days. And she's still the champion?
It feels like it's been a whole lot longer than that.
She got hurt June 3rd. She's been champion since April. Again, when we say this, it's not about the wrestlers. It's about the creative direction on how they tell these stories where you're not using your champions. They're getting these lackluster title runs. And when they're injured, you're keeping title on them. Whereas if you look at AEW, Willow, who suffered a shoulder injury. And they didn't know when she was coming back. So to protect themselves, they took the TBS title off of her. She came back early. They had to protect themselves. Something about the WWE just don't care about doing. Rhea Ripley has a huge fan base. She is loved. But if you're telling me that keeping the title on her is the best of business, that's a lie. You telling me that you can't make a match between JC Jane, Jade Cargo, and Charlotte Flair in the triple threat match. The winner would be crowned as SmackDown Women's Champion. My pick would be JC Jane, but that's just personal. It makes too much sense.
Yeah. There's no reason, especially nowadays when you're a TV-only business, you're not a house show company anymore. You're a TV business that if you have somebody that can't be on TV, that they should have a title. If they've been 30 days, I know Triple H formally said, "Oh, I did away with the 30-day rule for being champion." Why? Like, that makes no sense. So now you have Rhea Ripley, your biggest women's star, sitting at home doing nothing with one of the belts. You could be developing a new star. You could be putting somebody back into the main event, getting fans to look at them that way. And then you already have a built-in storyline when Rhea comes back, going after a title she never technically lost. Aren't you doing that with Seth Rollins? Oh, I'm getting the title back that I never lost. Imagine that. So the logic in it it makes perfect sense for who the WWE is. We only focus on our stars. If our star is out, we don't know what to do. So everything comes to a halt.
Yeah. Rhea Ripley is the biggest women's star in the WWE on both brands. She is the biggest. Whether you look at Raw, SmackDown, NXT, it don't matter. She is the face of the women's division. She is the women's division. That's not a knock on Io Sky. Io Sky is great. It's not a knock on Liv Morgan. She's great. Julia, she's great.
Stephanie, you can be the face of something and not be the best.
Right.
Just because it's people's opinion. In a wrestling match, if you were to say who are the best wrestlers in the women's division, Rhea's not going to be in the top 10.
No. And look, Mommy sells a lot of merch. I mean, did we not know? Did she not say that a long time ago? So about a year ago, that her and Cody Rhodes were 1 and 2, and she was on track to pass Cody in merch sales.
Yeah, I will say, seeing like a little girl that's probably like 4 or 5 years old wearing a Mommy's Always on Top shirt, probably not the best look, but that's more on the parents than anything.
Yeah,
just kind of wondering why you would make a shirt that small, but who am I to blame? I mean, it's the same company that has a bunch of sexual harassment stuff going on, so what do I know?
I don't know. You're a parent.
It's things I have to see and think about now.
Yeah, I know. But if you take the title off of her, you're not doing any damage to her. You're actually giving opportunities out to other ladies who deserve the title run. It's not like Rhea Ripley is going to be at the title picture completely. You can, when she gets healthy, you can put the title back on her immediately. But while she is out, it's nothing to fight for in the women's division on SmackDown. It's nothing to fight for. Because really what you're doing is, and you're not really doing going at it, Tiffany Strategy, Women's United States Champion. You're not making it important. You just called up Blake Monroe, who is de facto at some point is going to be the face of your women's division on SmackDown. Not right now, but at some point. You're not doing nothing with that title. You're not giving Tiffany any good fuels, anyone to fight. If you're gonna keep the women's champion and the belt off TV, why don't you go ahead and start elevating Tiffany Stratton and that women's United States Championship, put her in some meaningful matches, build up a story between her, Chelsea, and Blake Monroe, and let's get this ball on. Let's get this ball rolling. Because now you're just making a mockery.
Well, that, and for a company that loves having tournaments for basically no reason at all in WWE, Very simple thing. Rhea's going to be out for an extended time. We're stripping her of the title. We're going to have a tournament with the SmackDown women's roster. It doesn't have to be a 16 person, but an 8 person.
One-on-one matches.
And then Blake Monroe wins. You've instantly elevated Blake Monroe.
Who are you going to put the title on eventually?
Yeah, she's going to get the title anyway, so let's get her red hot, and either her or Tiffany wins. Tiffany's already got the United States title, so just have Blake Monroe win. And then you can do a program with her and Jade, but you want Jade to look like a monster, so you're not going to let Jade lose to Blake, and you're not going to take the title off of Blake immediately. So make it against her and Chelsea or whoever you want. And then suddenly Chelsea's wrestling main event matches. So now you're looking at Chelsea like, oh, she could be in the main event. She could do these things. So now you've elevated Chelsea up. You've elevated Blake up. You're automatically going to get Rhea when she comes back. Rhea can then take the title back, and then you've got a program with that person or Chelsea on top of Tiffany still being there. There's all these things that WWE, they're either too lazy or too stupid to figure it out.
Yeah,
and I think it's more of they're just too lazy.
A combination of both. Look, you had Julia, JC Jane, Tiffany, Chelsea, Blake. Who else did you just say we're missing? Oh, and Rhea when she comes back. That's 6 women that could be your main event scene right there. If you want to go deeper, if you want to, we can put Jade in. We'll put Charlotte Flair in there. If you want to beat Phil the Froggy, we'll put Alexa Bliss right there. So that's a total of 9 women right there. That could be fighting.
It sounds like just on one show alone, you have enough women that you could basically have your own 1 hour, 2 hour show. Imagine that, where the women could have actual matches. They could actually have real storylines that develop instead of getting squashed into little 5-minute segments that are mostly backstage.
Yeah. If you want to go a little deeper, Last Legend will be on there. You can put Nia Jax back on there. If they want to go, if they feel a little froggy, a little more extra froggy with this, Kiana James.
Kiana James is one of those that I think they've already put their cap on, that she's going to go out there. She'll have a good match with anybody, but we're not going to do anything with her.
I'm just saying, that's 12 women. That's including your United States Women's Champion.
And that's not even including any of the women from the Raw roster. Right. You have enough women that they should be doing their own show.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to stop campaigning for it. Like, there's no reason they can't have a show on Thursday or even Wednesday and have a 2-hour show.
That's 12 women on the SmackDown roster. I ain't even named what's her name? Johnny Gargano's wife.
Oh, Chelsea LeRae. Or no, Candice LeRae.
I ain't say Candice LeRae yet.
She's like
I know for a fact I'm missing 3 or 4 other women. But the point is,
well, I mean, you got Meechin, you got B-Fab, you got.
Yeah, I didn't mention them. I'm sorry, Meech.
I was gonna say you can't forget
I
Meechin.
need you to respond to this man text messages about coming on the show. Before I hop on Instagram,
I still have to get her lined up on a Marvel Rivals game.
Yeah, what I'm saying is that if Rhea gonna be out for a long period of time, and if you gonna keep the title on her while she's out, you have 10 other women who can be fighting for the United States title. You can elevate that title. You can make that title mean something. You can put Tiffany in a situation where when Rhea comes back, she can be back in that main event scene because of what she did for the United States title. Or if you want to take off of her and put it on Julia, back on Julia, or if you want to put it on Blake, like you said, Blake Monroe is the future of the women's division on SmackDown. At some point between now and a year or so, they're going to put the title on her.
Yeah.
So put the United States title on her, let her have a good run with it, let her elevate it, and when Rhea comes back, she can start a feud with Rhea, and she can go ahead and beat the new women's champion. Or Julia. One of the two, I don't care. But you cannot have your title sitting on the sideline with a knee injury. And your title ain't do nothing. It's the woman who got the title was hurt.
Yep. And it doesn't even have to be Blake Monroe. It just they're going to put all their money on Blake Monroe.
Yes.
You might as well get her in the main event scene as fast as possible. If it was my choice, it would be Julia. Because again, Julia and Io Sky are the two best women's wrestlers in the world. Like, name two that are better. Somebody will try and say Mercedes Moné.
Mercedes is great.
I'll give you
Mercedes
3.
Is great.
Yeah, but she's great. I'll give you she's 3rd, but she's not better than Io or Julia. Stephanie Bacher, she's not as good as Julia. And Julia, I'd say, is probably not as good as Io. So you've got 1 and 2. Everybody else is fighting for 3rd.
And that's not by much either. I mean, if Io's better, it's by like this much. It's not by much at all.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know, man. They got to fix that. So let's go to the last topic because actually it's going to be combined because it's about SummerSlam and it's about CM Punk and Cody Rhodes. So we finally going to get CM Punk versus Cody Rhodes at WrestleMania. On SummerSlam. That was originally scheduled for WrestleMania, but the injury to Seth Rollins changed those plans. And now we're going to get it. Now we're going to get that SummerSlam. There really was no build up to it. I mean, if you've seen it on Friday, hey, what did he say? Name, time, place. We got it. SummerSlam. No build up for it. No nothing. It's the WWE way.
Yeah, it's the WWE way. Go back to Cody's title runs. No build up to anything. It's just a bunch of generic matches that are subpar. The best match he had was against AJ. And that's all you're going to get out of CM Punk.
Yeah, we're not going to sit here and say it's not going to be a good match. We know it's going to be a good match. We know it. CM Punk, Cody Rhodes are two the best storytellers in the WWE right now. So we know it's going to be a banger match.
It'll be a solid 7.
Yeah. So
it'll be a solid average.
Yeah. So this match has accomplished 2 things. 1, this has to lead to a Cody Rhodes heel turn. And 2, it has to factor in Sami Zayn somehow, some way.
That's why my concern is that they're going to turn it into a triple threat match with him, and that's not going to help anything. It's just going to protect the other 2 that Sami takes the pin.
Yeah. Now we know that on Saturday Night's main event, Nick Aldis came back. He said it's going to be Gunther, Sami Zayn versus Cody and Punk as Saturday Night's main event at Madison Square Garden, which is fine. Don't got a problem with that. You know, I got my champion. He's not going to wrestle a single match. He's going to be in a tag team match. He's going to wrestle a single match at SummerSlam, which is fine. I have no problem with the whole thing. I just want the WWE to accomplish just a few things and move on. Cody Rhodes needs a character makeover. Cody Rhodes needs to disappear for a minute. Not because we don't like him on TV, because he's been overexposed on TV. He needs a heel run. He needs a heel turn. He needs it. You can't do the John Cena thing with Cody Rhodes. You can't keep him face because you want him to stay face. You can't keep him face because if he goes heel, he won't sell the merch. It's not about that. It's about making your asset, your most valuable asset, and they value Cody Rhodes. It's about involving his character. Make him a heel. Let him get a heel run. He doesn't need to be champion. You said it. We all have said it. He doesn't need to be in the title picture. He just needs to put on banger matches as a heel, work himself back up to being a main event title again. And then maybe if it's right, you put the title on him. You don't do it too soon. You don't put the title on Cody Rhodes as a heel in 6 months. You don't, maybe a year from now, but whatever. We ain't think about that. This match has to accomplish getting Cody Rhodes to being a heel. CM Punk, love or hate him, is the type of guy that can do that. And for Punk, because we know he's going to win, They're not going to have this man lose after just getting the title. For Punk's side of things, it's about for him just let him tell this story of his championship run. I think Jamie agreed with me when I say I don't think CM Punk gonna have a very, very long championship run. I don't see him being champion to all into next year at WrestleMania. And
No,
that's
I
also
think Punk only got the title to try and sell tickets out of their embarrassment of SummerSlam.
and that's also keep this real because they also came out that the reason why he's champion and the reason why he's on on USA because NBC Universal demanded it. They wanted him on there because they see the lackluster crowds on the SmackDown show. And they also been paying attention to the storylines what's going on SmackDown. If you don't think these boys don't know about wrestling, they've been paying very close attention. And you also keep forgetting, they've been working with Vince McMahon for a very long time, so they know what they're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
So ticket sales ain't doing good because their fan base being overpriced.
Do you not think that the NBC executives are reaching out to Vince to say, what do you think's going on here? And he's just talking crazy shit about him? So I 100% believe that all day long.
Oh, he probably is. I have no problem with it. But at the end of the day, it has to accomplish getting Cody Rhodes to the next phase of his career, give him a heel. And for Punk, it's just about really, hey, man, I need you to go out here, tell some good stories, defend the title. You're an older guy, so you're not going to be wrestling a lot on SmackDown. Cut them promos, run-ins, cool. But if you do wrestle on SmackDown, you won't be defending the title. See you at the pay-per-view.
Let's end the show on a high note because the last couple shows have ended out on a bummer because we always end with WWE and it's usually just a giant letdown. Yeah. This time we actually have something decent to end the show on. Baron Corbin is back.
He is.
My favorite finisher currently in wrestling today is the End of Days. So I'm happy that I just get to see somebody do it and do it well.
Oh, wait, we got to end on the show on two happy notes, actually. AEW and Maple Leaf Pro Wrestling has entered a partnership.
Yeah, I did read about that.
Did you not call that weeks ago?
Yes.
Did you not say that a few weeks ago? Man, we got
I'm pretty good at this.
People to pay you your money.
Do you know how much more I'd probably be accurate if I paid attention to everything? Like if I was just paid to watch wrestling all the time, it'd be pretty good. Like I don't even get to watch half the stuff. Like I didn't even watch SmackDown on Friday. I knew I wasn't going to miss anything, so I wasn't overly concerned. I did go back and have to watch the Baron Corbin thing. My only fault, or the only problem I have with the Baron Corbin thing, is that Carmelo Hayes is going to be completely forgotten. But
we're going to see how they work that in. I like the fact that Baron Corbin is in the mid-card scene. He's going after Trick Williams. So I do want to see how this is going to play out, how this is going to turn out.
Well, Trick can't hold on to that title forever.
No.
It's somebody like Baron Corbin is a logical person for him to lose to.
And let's keep it like this. And I also want to say this. When CM Punk did his promo, and when he cut it, he mentioned some names. The original, Cody, Gunther, Sammy, Kevin Owens. He mentioned a lot of some of the guys in the SmackDown roster name who are going to want shots at this title. You know the name he did mention? Trick Williams. One of the very few names he mentioned offhand. So you know what that means.
I still don't think Trick Williams is going to be moving up anytime soon.
I don't know. I mean,
Well, the one thing you have to keep in mind is that the Crown Jewel thing is coming up soon.
Yes.
Where they're going to do the champion versus champion. So they're going to be super selective on who they have wrestle. That's where Gunther's momentum completely started to die for him. Is when why they had Cody win that match made no sense to me. And look at Gunther's career since then. It like the momentum that he had built up just completely flatlined and then just fell off a cliff after losing that match.
I got one other question for you. So they do this champion versus champion thing. Why would they run it back, Punk versus Roman?
Exactly. That's why I don't expect Punk to have the title. Like I realistically would not be surprised if Cody wins at SummerSlam. I don't think it'll happen, but if it does, I wouldn't be surprised at all. Because then you're going to get your Cody versus Roman again. It'll be a big highlight for the Saudis, and they can talk about, oh God, and we're getting another one. Like anybody wants to see it, but we're getting another one, and it's in Saudi Arabia. Mm-hmm. And at least at that point, you should never have to talk about Roman versus Cody at WrestleMania ever again. We should be able to be done with that at that point. Because it'll have happened at Crown Jewel. That's it.
Yeah.
Realistically, Roman will win because they're not going to let Cody have a bigger legacy than Roman. Because Cody, at the end of the day, is still the guy that turned their back on WWE and left. Roman didn't.
Yeah. And another thing about the Baron Corbin situation, which I'm looking forward to see what they're going to do with him. I'm wondering if they're going to put the belt on him right away.
They are.
You think that makes sense?
Mm-hmm.
As far as like what I'm saying is, would you put the belt over him knowing that you got Carmelo and Ricky going after the U.S. title?
Yeah, because Trick needs to move on to something else. Because again, with him holding the belt, people are going to get bored. You can only come out and do so many things with Lil Yachty and keep the crowd into it before they get bored. It's the Jey Uso syndrome. Yeah, you can come out and get the crowd hyped doing your intro, but everything after that is a complete letdown. Now, Trick Williams can wrestle. We all know he can. But when he's wrestling the same two guys every single week, people are going to get bored.
Yeah,
Baron Corbin comes in, beats Trick. You can do a rematch that takes you through one PLE, so you got another month of Trick going with Baron. If you do a rematch, Baron wins that one. Now you freed up Carmelo and Ricky Saints that are still in that United States. Then Carmelo maybe gets it. Realistically, whether WWE goes, no, Ricky Saints is probably going to get it, or Starks, or whatever he's going by now. Ricky will probably get it. Baron will move on to something else, and then that's where you have to worry. Where's WWE going to drop the ball? You got him in at a hot start. You brought him in to be a big monster, and now he doesn't have the title. Is he going to get relegated to catering? Because that's what happens with WWE. They'll bring you in on a hard start. But once you get that initial title run or that initial feud out of the way, they forget about you.
Yeah. Yeah, they do. Yeah.
I mean, Royce Keys did an interview. Oh, I'm super happy with where my career's happened or where my career's gone since I've been in WWE. It's far exceeded anything I could have imagined. How much did they pay you to say that? It's far exceeded anything you could have imagined. What? Because you won the Andre the Giant Battle Royal? Something that nobody even knows when it happens half the time because it means nothing.
It meant something when it started. It was on WrestleMania. Now it's
it was at least something for all the guys that didn't get a match during WrestleMania, and they did kind of make a spectacle out of it. And then it got relegated to SmackDown before WrestleMania, and nobody cares.
No.
And then now, is it the pre-show or is it? No, this year it was on SmackDown, right?
It's exclusively on SmackDown.
Yeah, because I know they did for a year or two. They did do it as like part of the pre-show.
Yes.
But like
they gotta make it matter.
Have they done a little bit more than I thought they would do with Royce Keys? Yes, by like a hair. They've done a little bit more by getting him involved with Jacob and things like that. But it's almost exactly where I figured it would be. He's just there, not doing anything. Now a Baron Corbin Royce Keys feud, that would be good. Royce Keys gets the United States title. Okay, you got something there. Yeah. Baron Corbin can move on to something else. No problem.
Go where he should have been when he was in there the first time. When you want Money in the Bank, go to the main event. Hopefully they don't make that mistake. Hopefully they don't repeat those mistakes. But we are glad Baron Corbin's back. We know he's gonna kill it. And let's see how they trim this time around. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that'll be today's show. And remember, answer that question because me and Jamie will see you guys on Tuesday. Technically, tomorrow, if you watch the WWE podcast, you'll see me and Jamie tomorrow talking about basketball. I need him for a period of time, so he will be joining me regularly on the WWE podcast. And tomorrow, one of the topics that we're going to talk about is how Victor Wimbiala just embarrassed Jalen Durden.
It's so bad. Like,
really, really bad. Really, really bad.
If I'm Trajan Langdon, I'm just sitting there just smiling, going to jail and be like, you ready to take $20 million a year? You're gonna get half.
Yeah, embarrassing pretty bad. And we also want to talk about the summer league game with the Pistons, and the Kawhi Leonard situation took a turn. And if I'm Kawhi Leonard, I'm like this. Yeah, that little manager might be going for the rest of the season. So,
yeah. Yeah, I might tweak a knee, and I can't put pressure on it to play all season.
Yeah,
I will say, I upped my record. I went 80-2 yesterday on 82-0. I think I posted it, so you have to go look.
Yeah, you went from 784 to 80-2. Congratulations.
That's right.
All right.
Incremental improvements, 1% better every day.
1% better. All right. Well, you'll see me and Jay tomorrow at WJO Podcast. Then you'll see me and Jamie again on Tuesday for Signature Furniture Podcast. DS Walt, Jamie, we're out.
Later.